they don't even need Juan Soto to win it all. Mainly because of Aaron Judge, but the Yankees do not need Juan Soto.
Without Juan Soto, it's 2022. I mean, that's the way I see it. Now, all right, Grisham gets down a bunt Friday night. Sure, yeah, you could dive deeper into these games and say, well, if this would have happened, and maybe there's some stuff that supports that, but it's pretty much the same team. I mean, DJ LeMahieu's still playing. Catchers don't give you a lot of pop. Gleyber Torres is still part of this situation until he's not, and he can't get out of here fast enough. The Yankees, without, like, to me, I actually saw it so differently. And it's not that the Yankees have to win every game. It's not that you need to bludgeon team. Dodgers are really good.
Right.
We all know this, right?
Their managers, lost. I'm trying to clean it up there before I say something stupid, but their managers lost. But outside of that, yeah, they have talent.
God, they got so much talent, and they've got some more coming. They've got some pitchers coming back from the injured list. But I think that, like, this Yankees team, to me, this was so good for the nation to be dialed into the series because the way they were. Because I think that this is a direct message again to Hal Steinbrenner. Like, we could sit here and say, and Aaron Judge might hit 62 home runs again. He might. I mean, he's
might hit 70.
He's amazing. Without Soto, the team goes nowhere.
See, I don't see it that way at all. I think they're better. They pitch much better, top to bottom. Their bullpen. I think every facet of the Yankees. Now, obviously, they don't have to worry about this, at least right now. We hope Soto gets back there at some point in this series in Kansas City. But if you, like, all year, beginning of the year, it was, look at the difference with Soto. They could overcome Judge being out. Judge is the key piece here. And also, they got Dominguez coming back, and Verdugo has been a nice addition. Luckily, the Yankees don't have to worry about without Juan Soto. They have Juan Soto. He's part of the team, but I don't think this is just about Juan Soto. The Yankees are so good that even if Soto was hurt or something did happen or he did move on in free agency, I still think they're going to be a World Series team because of Aaron Judge and everywhere else. They're good. They won last night without Juan Soto. Everybody in the ballpark wanted Juan Soto. Guess what? Trent Grisham stuck it up your rear end. When you have things like that happening, that to me is old school dynasty vintage Yankees.
I mean, you can unpack it that way. I know what you mean on some level. They had so many unlikely heroes over the years when they were winning all those championships. But, I'm sorry. I prefer not to tempt fate too much and have a guy who's batting 087 get meaningful at bats. And no disrespect to Grisham. It's very hard to play this game as it is, let alone playing, once every 2 weeks. I get it. The infrequency, there's no way he could possibly get dialed in. But, he's a C-level player. And I know that Juan Soto's coming back this year. I think I mean more big picture. Although I got to tell you, I was preaching, hey, guys, let's not think the worst. Forearm is this couple of days ago.
Yeah,
the forearm generally is a precursor to worse issues with the ligament because it's all kind of connected there, as many people know. But I was stressing, relax. Let's just see what the imaging says. But I know, like myself, when I saw removed game forearm tightness for a second, I envisioned a world without Juan Soto, and that is a team that cannot win the championship. It's the first thing I thought the other night.
And you thought
season felt over.
You weren't alone, thought the same thing about Garrett Cole.
Yeah, it's true.
And maybe even, to me, even more impactful, like, well, without Garrett Cole, the Yankees can't be the best team in baseball. They can't win a World Series. And yet, here we are. They are the best team in baseball, and Garrett Cole hasn't set foot on the mound yet.
They are, but they just lost 2 out of 3 to the Dodgers. So the Dodgers have the inferior record, barely. But they just beat the Yankees twice.
Right. Without Garrett Cole, without Dominguez, without Juan Soto. I mean, the Yankees are getting some of those guys back. I'm not worried about the Dodgers at all. Matter of fact, after watching this series, and I think, Dodger fans think they're so bad and tough taking over Yankee Stadium. First of all, that is the Yankee fan got to be careful here because they did get run out of their own building to a certain extent by the Dodgers.
A little bit.
That can't happen. However, of the two teams, I firmly believe one will be in the World Series, and I don't think it's going to be the Dodgers. Now, you could say that's because the National League is tougher competition, sure, but I don't think the Dodgers are going to be there, and I do think the Yankees are going to. BT, I've seen enough, like Aaron Judge. You can't get him out. Matter of fact, Dave Roberts is so stupid, not even for the challenge, the lack of challenge at third base. You know which play I'm talking about?
Yeah.
The bunt, the botched bunt, and then when he got it down. Yeah. his back foot was on the base before the ball got there. And Roberts was looking at the first foot, which came off. Now, it was a terrible slide, but a bad decision.
A bad slide.
Anyway, outside of that, how do you pitch to Aaron Judge? You need your head examined, especially without Juan Soto in the lineup. You do not need to pitch to Aaron Judge, and yet they do, and they continue to get hit hard. Point is, I think the Yankees are fine, even if Soto does miss some time. And on that, obviously, we're off on Friday when all the news is starting to come down and all the worry and all the concern. And while they could be, not they, the Yankees, but, whether it's Soto himself or his agent or whatever the issue is, he still didn't play in a game. Like, they had said initially, he might be available to pinch hit. 3 games go by against the Dodgers. Everybody talked about, Soto's going to be in this. He's got to be in this series at some point. Nothing from Juan Soto. That makes me think a little bit that maybe we're just not 100% sure yet of how serious this is.
Well, I'll tell you this is a separate discussion here. But the one thing that I've learned about the Yankees over the years is that not that they just straight up lie, but medically it's always... it's trying to, crack the code.
Right.
So, when the Yankees tell us something about whether it's Juan Soto or Aaron Judge over the years, I now take it with a grain of salt. The only thing that mattered to me pertaining to Soto was, what did the imaging say? That's it. Boone with the Boone speak, and, when Cashman talks about this, whatever, inflammation's inflammation. Nothing was detected. But, again, the greater issue is, it was a fun weekend, had a little juice, the place was packed, you're right, a lot of Dodger fans.
Must watch.
Yeah, it was. Infiltrated the stadium. It was not the best look for Yankee fans, although I don't tell people how to spend the money, but... Without Juan Soto, they win nothing. He's that instrumental. Now, I could also say without Aaron Judge, they win nothing. They need each other. It's got to be Soto 2, Judge 3. The residual impact, how it goes up to Volpe in the top spot, and it trickles down. Though they need a first baseman, they need a second. These are all other topics that we'll get to. But without those two guys, 2, 3, the Yankees lineup's not good enough. They don't just need Judge being a superhero. They need them both. And they need them both, I would say 10 years, but Judge won't be a star for 10 years. For the next 5 years. That should have been a message to Hal. Whatever Boris is coming looking for, you better pay him. Because without Juan Soto in that lineup, this Yankees team not good enough to win. They're not.
See, for me, I think it's the other way. Obviously, you want Juan Soto, but I think they could overcome being without Juan Soto. If anything happens to Aaron Judge, I don't care what we saw in April. If anything happens to Aaron Judge, their season is torpedoed yet again. He's the guy. We've seen the Yankees can overcome Garrett Cole being out. I know it was just a weekend without Juan Soto, but we've seen them play well without Juan Soto before. It's a different team this year. You're right, but it's not just because of Juan Soto. And I really do feel like Aaron Judge is on a mission more so than ever. He's the guy that they cannot lose. Plus, you're getting Dominguez back potentially. A lot going in the favor of the Yankees, even with the possibility of being without Juan Soto. 888-808-1019 is the number to call. Or Fred's at Town Fair Tire. Remind you that at Town Fair Tire, you always get the guaranteed lowest price on name brand tires from Connecticut to Maine. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody. Dave is in Rockville Center. What's up, Dave?
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking the call. So I'm going to go out there in the fire without a flame suit on. Before I do that, I want to say, BT, I'm actually surprised that I agree with you on this. And Sal, I'm surprised you're taking the position that you take. I'm a longtime Yankees fan, and I've been an Aaron Judge detractor for a long time. And the reason is, I think that in the postseason, I know that in the postseason, he's not a situational hitter. And I called up Keith and CM, and I was absolutely torched, skewered for saying so. And what I'd like to ask you guys is, in the postseason, do you think Aaron Judge is a situational hitter? Because out of 9 series where he has 10 plate appearances or more, his strikeout ratios are off the charts. 55%, 40%, 40%, 28%. The lowest strikeout ratio he has in any series is 25%. And then 2 out of the 9 series, he did well. So 7 out of the 9, horrible. And I just think that Soto is the glue for this team. And, when Aaron Judge has to be the number one guy, for whatever reason, he tries to do too much. In the regular season, it's great, but people talk about A-Rod. You know what? The Yankees should have won more series with A-Rod.
Yeah,
they did win the one.
Forget A-Rod. We're talking about Judge, and thank you for the call, Dave. We do appreciate you checking in. Oh, Aaron Judge is going to have to prove himself in the postseason. I'll say this. Aaron Judge is one of the best baseball players, period, that I've ever seen in my entire life. And if you take him off this Yankee team, they are done. The Yankees without Aaron Judge, Juan Soto's great, and I love Juan Soto. He's one of my favorite players in baseball, not on the level of Aaron Judge or Barry Bonds or Griffey Jr., but I love Juan Soto. But if you take Soto off this team, as long as Judge is there, to me, the Yankees are next level. If you take Judge off this team, BT, I look at a team that's, okay, good, but they're not going to do the damage that they will with Aaron Judge, who is just otherworldly.
I mean, we're filling in the blanks with kind of guesses. You've thrown Dominguez's name around there, and I really liked him. I know he had a big day yesterday. Again, he's been crushing the ball since he came back with the rehab stuff. But we don't really know yet. I think we all surmise he's going to be the real deal, but we need to see it. There's just too many weak spots to work. Let me answer his point directly. There's two aspects here. Number one, do I? And not everybody has this ability. Like Jalen Brunson, big game ability. Do I think that Aaron Judge, even though he's yet to do it, really will rise to the occasion? Do I think he's built that way and wired that way to block out the noise eventually and perform in October? I do. Now, you've got to do it, otherwise you don't do it. But I think the problem with Judge so far, because the last caller referenced some of his empty series here, Sal, is that they've been able to pitch around him. They could pitch around him. So with Soto there, it's harder to pitch around Judge because more guys are on base. When Soto's not there, it's a little easier to navigate, which changes Volpe's presence and profile. I think they're all interconnected. I mean, take Freddie Freeman off the Dodgers. Are they the same offense? Take Mookie Betts off the Dodgers. Take Ohtani. Take Bernie off the Yankees. Take O'Neill off the... it's not one guy. It's not Larry Bird or Michael Jordan or Kareem or a starting pitcher. This lineup needs Judge, and this lineup needs Soto.
Right, but we make it like it's one more than the other. Everybody's talking about Soto and the Soto impact and the effect that he's had. To me, Judge is the guy.
All right, let me ask you this. Now, you might be right, all right? And he's so amazing. Yeah. He deserves that respect. Mm-hmm. And I'm attacking it differently, though I agree. I mean, this is probably what Bonds, go back down. Right. It's not that dissimilar.
I mean, they were talking about it last night during the broadcast on ESPN. When you start talking about 2004 Barry Bonds, that is... I mean, we know what Bonds did, but still.
Yeah.
He was one of the best players ever, and then he started doing the PEDs or whatever and became, the guy was a robot. And Judge is doing that clean.
That's what I was going to say. It didn't look that different from the past month or so, or even the 62 that he smacked a couple of years ago. But maybe this isn't a perfect way to frame it. First and second, 2 out. Ninth inning, Yanks won 102 games, so they've got it in their crib. Deciding game, down a run. Do you want Soto or do you want Judge up there? Who gives you the more quality at bat?
I want Judge up there because Judge is going to do damage. Soto's going to be looking for a walk. And I'm not trying to knock Soto.
Soto gives you the better at bat, though.
Okay, good. He gets on first base, and then what?
But the more good at bat you have, the better the chance, the odds increase to actually rip a double down the line. Square up a 3-0, 3-1, 2-1, 2-0 pitch. It's a tough one, but I think Soto gives you better at bat.
And look, the reality is, BT, the Yankees don't have to worry about it because Soto's going to be okay. At least it seems he's going to be okay. And they do right now on their team have both Soto and Judge. But I think they're good enough even without Juan Soto, whether it's this year or whether it's projecting forward because of Aaron Judge. Adam is in Manhattan. What's up, Adam?
What's up, fellas? How are you?
Good. How are you?
What's happening, buddy?
Good. I think you guys are on the right track, but you're heading in the wrong direction. It's not who you can do without. It's who you can't do with. So, Soto, Judge, generational players, the best Yankees that we've all ever seen. But it's Rizzo, LeMahieu, Stanton. They're old, used cars. They got to go.
Yep.
Well, I'll tell you this, and thank you for the call, Adam.
Yep.
Sorry. One thing, BT, for me that was validated yet again was John Carl Stanton. The guy can't hit good pitching. I don't care what he did in the postseason historically. To me, that's the aberration. Maybe because teams were pitching to John Carl Stanton and letting him beat them. But the guy, come on.
I was kind of thinking the same thing.
He's not a postseason player. He's not a good... He's not a good hitter.
He's really a mistake hitter at this point. No, I
Gets
don't.
fat off of bad pitching generally.
I don't disagree. I'm done with Rizzo. Listen, I'm not saying something way you cut him, but he cannot be playing first base in October. If I've got to see Anthony Rizzo's back shoulder drop once more and pop it up to short center, sky it up to third in foul territory, pop it up to the shortstop, he's done. Anthony Rizzo's finished. He is fried as a productive, middle of the order player. And he's not even the same defensive player that he used to be. We were talking about this a little bit before the show. They need an entire overhaul to the right side of that. That's a different discussion. I get that. But it does amplify what I'm saying. It's just a different way to get there. Why they need Soto and Judge is because the other stuff still isn't that good.
Right, and we understand what the last caller was saying. It's also not something that we talk about today to lead the show. Like, we'll get to it maybe later on or maybe down the road. Coming off of that series, two things were obvious. No Juan Soto and Aaron Judge superstardom. That's where you start with the Yankee team. It's great that they have both, but I do get the feeling that even Yankee fans were getting caught up in Soto and the newness of Soto and his importance, and I understand that.
Yeah, that goes.
I know the new shiny toy. I get it. Look, I love him too, but the reality is Aaron Judge is doing things, and you've said this plenty of times.
I believe it.
Judge is doing things on the baseball field that Juan Soto couldn't dream of doing.
That's true, but I also think that Soto's discipline is something that, even though Judge is up to 300 again, it's a next level awareness and presence and intelligence and the residue that it leaves on the rest of the lineup. It's so imperative. They like in tandem, they're unstoppable.
Right.
With one,
You think they're just back down to an average team with just one of them? Even the American
because
League?
the pitching's better, and Torres, and Volpe's better, and Verdugo's better. No, they're not an average team like the Yankees were when Judge got hurt in L.A. when he ran into the wall, like they are without Judge. But they're not a World Series caliber team. They need them both. And they need them both for 5, 6, 7, 8 years. Like, that's why I said, Hal, the guy, we could talk about Soto and Judge and together and solo and this and that. The message should have been delivered, and it was. And I know that Hal's seeing what we're seeing. There is no way that the Yankees can let that guy walk away from the Bronx.
We'll get back to your calls on the other side. 888-808-1019 on the Fan. I can make an argument that Soto is the 5th most important New York Yankee. We'll try to do that on the other side.
Behind DiMaggio and Garrick and Manta? I got to hear this. I'm looking forward to it. All right.